Travel back in time with a trip inside the Iowa's News Now vault.
This is the scene outside the Waterloo airport at 5 this morning. Officials have blocked the gate off. They're not letting anybody in or out. The reason? There's a natural gas leak inside the airport. There's also millions of dollars of damage done to aircraft from the heavy winds. The first person who knew Waterloo was going to be socked with a severe storm was National Weather Service forecaster Charlie Francisco. At 2 a.m. in the terminal building, Francisco was tracking the storm on radar. The storm developed its high winds so close to town that the radar didn't pick it up.
There was really no way that we could even guess that it was coming, and the first real clue that we had was it was here was when the other guy I was working with come in and said we just got a gust of 91 knots, which comes out to be about 104 miles an hour. Now that really gets your attention. That's when the building started to vibrate a little bit.
The terminal building survived intact, but the winds decimated small aircraft and hangars. When the sun came up, the extent of the damage was revealed. Roofs ripped from hangars, planes scattered around the field like paper gliders. At the National Guard Air Base nearby, helicopters were strewn in every direction.
Aircraft that are inverted, which means they're sitting on their back, and there's an awful lot of debris around, and unfortunately a lot of windows in cars appear to be blown out, which is hard to believe, but since a lot of the windows on the downwind side of the car are gone, there's no way that debris could have broken those out, and they're gone. And that glass is pretty strong, and there's a lot of tin, insulation, you name it. There's just a lot of debris laying around here, and it is a mess.
The cleanup began as the sun rose. There is no griping about nature's fury at the airport, just calm determination to clear the mess, rebuild, and be thankful that no lives were lost.
I've been in weather some 37 years, and this is the strongest wind that I've ever been associated with or close to. And it's, well, I'll tell you what, I sincerely hope that I've seen my 100-year average wind, because this is dangerous.
Bill George, 2 Action News, Waterloo.
This was the scene in Dunkerton at 3 this morning. The mobile home of the Larry Baker family was overturned, trapping 5 family members inside. Rescue teams freed the family. They were treated for minor injuries. A neighbor heard the storm approaching.
It started building up about 1, and there was a little hail, it felt like, and then about 20 after 2, while the storm itself was just underway, and it kept getting worse, and the wind kept picking up, and the trees were bending, and I saw this mobile home here turned over. And so when I saw that, I went for help.
Downed trees and power lines were reported all over Black Hawk County, but the heavy wind damage was centered around the Waterloo-Cedar Falls metro area. Tree limbs blocked streets and even houses. Utility crews called in extra linemen to repair lines that were making some streets impassable. Although flooding was relatively minor, Highway 63 was blocked by a 3-foot wall of water. City crews began the cumbersome chore of cleaning up, a task Waterloo Mayor Leo Roof says will take quite some time. Roof has contacted the governor's office and is hoping the state can provide some type of disaster aid. Jim Wiley, 2 Action News, Black Hawk County.
3 o'clock this morning, fear and devastation. Tonight, the cleanup. You could see it all over the Waterloo-Cedar Falls area. Families and friends getting together to fix up what nature's uncontrollable fury destroyed this morning. The J.U. Mayer family is pretty typical. Children and grandchildren using chainsaws to turn Grandpa's once proud elm tree to firewood. Down the road a mile, Lloyd Menninga's utility crew is trying yet another power restoration. They've been at it since 3 this morning and fully expect to be in the field at 3 tomorrow morning. At the airport, more of the same on a bigger scale. Planes that were tossed around like giants' toys this morning are rolled into place, and their owners shake their heads.
Well, I got word at 3 o'clock this morning, and I think I got out here at about 3:30. And it was still dark. You couldn't get the full impact of what really happened. And then as the sun started to come up, and you could see what really happened. It was just made one feel how little control he has over nature, and the full impact of just not this area but the total airport. It's just unbelievable what this storm did to the airport.
Dexter Hyde says he's lucky. He's got damage to some hangars and a few planes, but he'll fly tomorrow. His neighbor and competitor, Niederhauser Airways, has hangars without roofs and smashed aircraft. The bill will run into the millions. There is an overriding theme that has survived throughout this entire ordeal, and that is that people are thankful that it wasn't a lot worse. Mark Casey, 2 Action News, Waterloo.
Damaged aircraft have been removed from runways, and workers are removing remains of the smaller hangars. The metal, at least, will be saved, much of it sold to junkyards. One of the hardest hit areas, the Waterloo Airport. Today, workers trying to salvage what they can. But one of the things that won't be saved are the airplane hangars. They'll probably be ripped down tomorrow.
I think both the large bulk hangars are pretty well condemned and will be knocked down. Exactly the timing, I don't know, but they are going to probably go.
Were they hit that bad that that's the best thing to do, or what?
Yeah, they, in fact, I don't know why they're standing now. They're old buildings. I know that they were old when we were in here 20-some years ago, so they're about ready to go down, and they just aren't feasible to rebuild.
The hangars are owned by the city, and they are insured. A city official said the hangars would probably be knocked down by crane tomorrow morning. Insurance will cover many losses at the airport, but businessmen will still be hurt while equipment is being repaired.
I have no business interruption insurance, so while the airplanes are down for maybe as much as 3-4 months, I won't have the income on them or anything like that. I am out of business today on the flight department except for one Aztec on air charter, but by Monday I think I should have enough airplanes in here and hopefully we'll be back in full business.
Bill George, 2 Action News, Waterloo. The storm struck at 2 a.m. when almost everyone was asleep. But law enforcement officials caught in the 100-mile-an-hour winds requested that warning sirens be sounded. Civil Defense Director Carl Rogers would not activate the sirens.
The reason is that if we did it every time we had a severe thunderstorm, and we might not have 100-mile-an-hour winds, but we could have 45, 50-mile-an-hour winds, the people wouldn't know what to do.
7 people were hurt, none seriously, and officials are thankful that the storm didn't hit during the day when people are up and about. Still, if wind could do this much damage to the airport, what would have happened if it had ripped into an apartment complex? Rogers says that although the potential for disaster exists, sirens won't be turned on for severe thunderstorms.
The people were sleeping, and we still have to have a basis for a viability of our outdoor siren system, and it's flash flood or tornado warnings. This must be the way. It is good, even though we have people think that maybe it was a tornado because of the high winds. Well, it was not a tornado, and the Weather Service was right.
Rogers says people should be aware that severe thunderstorms can contain high winds. But in this case, there was no severe thunderstorm warning until after the storm hit. And if one had been issued over radio and TV, most people would have been asleep at the time it was issued. Bill George, 2 Action News, Waterloo.